Hey guys, welcome back to our channel, Retired and Loving It. I'm Terry.
And I'm Keith.
We're at Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky. Right behind us is the Twin Spires.
Today, Pat, a Churchill Downs employee, gives us a behind-the-scenes tour of Churchill Downs. Our first stop on the tour was the glass menagerie made by a master glass artist. It was 30 foot long, 10 foot wide, 10 foot high, and it is a unique masterpiece featuring over 4,000 individually made pieces. This is a one-of-a-kind art piece. The artist loved watching the Kentucky Derby on television as a child. It was his dream to do this masterpiece, and it was actually the late Princess Diana that inspired him to follow that dream. Pat then took us to the area where people gather to bet on various sports going on all around the globe. There are TV screens everywhere for people to see the results of their bets. Pat then took us to see the caricatures of the owners and trainers that was along the wall. Underneath, you could look, they had each one numbered, and you could see who they all were.
They were tearing all the stands out that used to be here. Look at some of the stuff they found. Old time. When they were tearing the stands down. I think the oldest.
So this was when they was tearing down all the
Yes,
stands?
and they found all this paraphernalia from years gone by.
This was so interesting. All the things that they had saved when they tore down the old grandstand. Old ticket stubs, old betting stubs, old programs, saved for all to see.
Get the jockeys, and then I'll show you the old part of the track.
We then got to see the caricatures of the jockeys. So interesting. And again, they had the thing on the bottom that you could look at the number and find what jockey you were looking at. Pat said back in the 1800s, they sent someone to England to see their derby, which gave them the idea to come home and start the Kentucky Derby.
Because from that end of the track all the way to where I'm taking you was literally a mile.
So this is the Green Mile.
You're on the Green Mile, and that's original brick and all that out there. You can just look at the work.
This is our view of the paddock standing in the oldest part of the building.
So Pat, how long have you worked?
When I was in high school, I was a money runner, and then when I went to college, I came back on Oaks and Derby, and then I did the machines. Then when I taught school, they liked it that school teachers were all on the Oaks and the Derby, so we would come in and just watch the teenagers do their job and watch the bracelets come in. So when I retired from all that, I said, well, what's a fun place I always enjoyed? This is it.
Pat gave us quite an adventure. She would just nod her head and wave, and people would let us right on through. She led us to where the original part where the Derby horses would come down. It was very old and so interesting.
You see, how old it is.
At this point, we were in awe at all of the historic things that we saw. Then she walks us right out to the track and to where the winner's circle is. She literally got us into the winner circle suites, which is right behind the winner's circle.
Home Stretch Club, the Home Stretch Club. And there's literally a bar underground. Ours 100 foot long. If I can get you in there.
So what's this here called?
This is called Winning Circle Suites. They have some on this side and there's some on that side.
I see.
And here we are, right behind the winner's circle. They only use the winner's circle in the middle of the field on Derby Day.
Yo Bueno breaks clearly and Cammy Cat fellas as well. Send Truffles for the inside as well. Yo Clubhouse turn. Yo Bueno out there setting the beat. Far outside the left wall. We got 1, 2, 3. Yo Bueno still the leader. Cammy Cat's the front of the body now, but it's still second. Yo Bueno fending off that trail. The Cammy Cat trying hard, is now following behind. Yo Bueno turns back Cammy Cat. Roger Diamond runs up in the third, and it will be Yo Bueno, who goes wire to wire, winning by 2.5.
And here's the winner. Pat told us that they have to weigh before and after the race. And here he is in the winner's circle. And next, she took us to the rooftop, right next to those infamous twin spires. Then she took us up to the corporate executive suites, where all the rich people hang out.
So this is the rooftop.
Yes.
And this is the Rooftop Gardens, where they have weddings and other special events. You also get a bird's eye view of Churchill Downs. The view from the starting gate Rooftop Garden. We walk back down the Green Mile to the oldest part of the building.
So now this is part of the old O. This is kind of comical. These used to have curtains up on them, and that used to be, that was considered kind of privacy. Yeah, probably in those days.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, they didn't have TVs. They had to get up and head out.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is. I mean, there's
Let's see some more photos of anybody we might see on here.
See Ronald Reagan over there.
Yeah, I've seen his up there. This is part of the old, which I like too.
In the oldest part of the building, you see JC on the top of the archways a lot. This stands for Jockey Club because that's the original name. Back in the old days of the track, the director's office was back in that corner, and nothing was air conditioned back in those days. How times have changed.
A lot of people don't realize that they can come and, be right over the paddock. And a lot of people, that's not explained to them that this is demolition too. Yeah. And what a great, if you bring a family, and there's some indoors as well.
This place is rich with history, and the architecture back in this old part is absolutely amazing. Then we walked out into the paddock area where we watched the jockeys mount the horses as owners and trainers looked on. From being at the track for so many years, Pat knows many of these jockeys. And here they come, a parade of horses, as they get ready to warm up and make their way to the post for the beginning of their next race. There's so much tradition and pageantry in horse racing. They are amazing to watch. Churchill Downs is an amazing place, and Pat was a wonderful guide. We learned so many things today that we never knew about Churchill Downs. It's one of those places that you'll want to see at least once in your lifetime. So much for joining us today at Churchill Downs. What a fun day.
We had a blast seeing these magnificent horses run. They're so beautiful.
And we want to give a special thanks to Pat. She's a worker here at Churchill Downs who went above and beyond to give us a tour of places that people don't normally get to see. What an awesome tour guide she was.
If you haven't already, go ahead and press that subscribe button right down here. Give this video a big thumbs up.
We'll see you next time on
Retired and Loving It.
If you'd like to see more of our videos, click the video that just popped up on your screen.